on the table from the Transformers movie.
It seems in poor taste.
It was, yeah. I'm not very happy with. Oh my god, we're live. Hello, everyone. You hang on a minute. You Friday night quizzed me, didn't you?
Yes.
You were hoping I was going to say the N word in front of everybody, weren't you?
You know, the odds are low, but never nil. Never nil.
I was not going to say the N word. I was not going to say nuclear. Oh crap! I've done it.
Good evening, folks. Good evening, folks. I did a sneaky launch. Was feeling cheeky, and we did a sneaky launch. I hope you're well. This is Double Feature Horror Show episode 245. We're continuing our Brian De Palma coverage, and we are looking at Black Dahlia from 2006. And I've got some heartbreaking news for you tonight. There's one bit of heartbreaking news. You look on Brian De Palma's Wikipedia. Shall I share this one? I'll share this tab. You guys see that? Is that coming through? Look at this.
Yep.
On the side, career, rise to prominence, breakthrough and acclaim, established career, 1997 to present, career slump. Dude's been slumping for 30 years. Come on. That's brutal.
To be fair, I've been slumping for about 30 years. So Brian De Palma, I share your pain. Yeah.
I think that's brutal. That's a tragedy. That's very sad to see. Maybe we'll try and repair that reputation. But before we go further, some of the other sad news. A lot of lovely people have been passing away in the last couple of hours. Yeah, TCG. Why have you got Optimus Prime going on there?
Well, yeah, bloody Peter Cullen died, man. That's like, they say things happen in threes. 2 days ago it was Dolly Parton. Yesterday it was Tim Curry, and today, like, the voice of Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, gone. And also, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Invincible, the TV, the Amazon cartoon that's going on at the moment, because he was one of the voice actors in that. He was playing one of the he plays a Viltrumite. I can't remember the character's name, but he was like a dude who defected, like basically turned against his own people. And it's just been mad. And then obviously Hayden Panettiere as well. Like, what? Yeah. Like, there is so much, man. It's quite a lot to take in.
And John Gorris has just added Screaming Mad George. If people don't remember, that was, I'm afraid I don't remember his Japanese first name is Georgie, but I can't remember his surname. But he was a special effects artist who was rather creative. He did the unforgettable effects on Society. Sorry, what was that, Murgoot?
Society.
Yeah, that's a guy. Big F to him. Yeah, it's a lot of amazing people passing recently. It's very sad. Hayden Panettiere was a tough one. Tim Curry as well, just literally a legend if you know his filmography. But man, it's going to make those Scary Movie 2 rewatches a bit tough.
I need to watch Clue tonight or tomorrow.
Clue, yeah. Of course, the OG Pennywise. It must be said. But
yeah,
I think I saw a tribute to his finest performance there from Distant Night. Space. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Tim Curry did a thing for Command and Conquer as well, didn't he? Like, quite
that was it.
Red Alert.
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we didn't appreciate that when we were kids. Now seeing those clips, I wonder if he thought they'd go round as much, or if he thought, it's just a little computer game, I'll get away with this.
But I'll tell you what, it is a bit weird though, right? Because with Dolly Parton and Tim Curry's announcements on both days, it was really weird because it was like both days, and I'm like, I genuinely thought they both had already passed. Which is really weird. It's that's happening a lot now. I'm noticing. Maybe it's just my old age. Maybe it's just I'm getting older. I'm just getting more forgetful. But I'm seeing people die who I thought had died, and I'm seeing people who were alive who I thought were dead. Like, I think
It
James
is.
Remar most recently. I thought he'd passed
Really?
away. Mickey Rourke as well. Actually, I thought he'd passed away.
Still going, I believe.
No, I know.
But another bout of plastic surgery and made himself look even worse.
Yeah, but I thought he'd gone for some reason and found out he wasn't. And yeah, it's just hard to keep up. But yeah, sad news.
It does.
But
And it hits different. They have a different effect now, I think. Maybe it's me being ancient. I don't know.
Well, no, I don't think so. I've always said, like, you know, as many of you probably know, I am a big appreciator of football, and I am a lifelong Manchester United fan. And I've always said when Sir Alex Ferguson eventually goes, it genuinely will feel like losing a granddad for me, because he was such a huge part of my life growing up as a child, through all the highs, lows, and the success that he brought to that club, and just the influence that he had around the club. I always think, like, I always dread the day that happens, that's going to happen. But yeah, people like Peter Cullen, again, this was the voice of Optimus Prime growing up, was a childhood hero of mine. And when they brought it to the big screen with the Michael Bay films, I know the films are terrible, but it's an iconic voice, and I've always got time. I've always said, like, I know those films are garbage, but I will never have a problem watching those films start to finish and enjoy it, because it's just, for me, it just feels like pure nostalgia. And he was one of the voices that I did try and emulate with the "We are the Autobots." I always I can't do it now, but Megatron. I tried.
You gave it a good go. Well, we all tried.
So if they ever need to bring back, if they're ever making another Transformers film, and they need to replace,
should give you a call.
Give me a call. Ring me, Michael.
The amazing voice. Well, many an RIP to some wonderful people. I mean, you said it for Alex Ferguson. I kind of thought that for Anthony Stewart Head.
Yeah.
I feel silly about it, but it's like, I've spent 1,000 hours watching Buffy. So
yeah, well, Nicholas Brendan.
Nicholas Brendan, Michelle Trachtenberg. It's too many, man.
It is.
It's been a weird year for it. It's been a weird year for it.
I mean, Michelle Trachtenberg, I think it was a couple of years ago, but even still, like,
was it?
Yeah, I think it was a year or two ago, but it's still like mental, the fact that, and these aren't shows that are that old. I mean, like, people who watch Friends, obviously, the guy who played Chandler, oh my God, my brain, honestly.
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry, thank you. He passed not that long ago. And it just feels like, I think we're now getting into that sort of generation of people now, where our sort of like, heroes and the people that we grew up with are now starting to go, and it seems to be happening a lot quicker now, but because we're getting close to that,
it does feel like that. Well, hopefully not too grim a start for you guys, but to be honest, we are discussing an extremely grim movie, so maybe it's appropriate. Before we get into it, I will just say a massive thank you to people who've been supporting the channel, dropping super chats early. Before we started the stream, and then some very large ones afterwards, which I really appreciate. So Distant Night, who as ever has been an absolute star, has done the screen caps, which are super appreciated. The man has an eye for detail. So helpful. He sent $5 Aussie quoting the line, "More rubber burned on her than the San Bernardino highway." Many great lines in that. I'm glad you didn't use any of the descriptors for was it Patrick Fischler's character?
Patrick Fischler.
I wouldn't want to quote those on stream, but
I can't. Do you know what? As soon as I saw his face, his movement, his like mannerisms and everything like that, I was like, this dude's in LA Noire. I know he's in LA Noire. I can just tell. And I looked it up and I was like, I'm right. The guy plays Mickey Cohen, like one of the mob gangsters in the game. And it's
one of the most that guy guys. Like, you've seen his face, you're like, where is he? I know this guy. And the answer is Mulholland Drive, 6 Feet Under, Lost, dudes everywhere. And I want to say the first episode of Buffy, but I could be wrong. I think I am wrong. As in the very first episode, Welcome to the Hellmouth. But okay. I could be wrong. Check me. Distant Night also sent in another $5 Aussie saying, how do I say this? Gwynplaine in the Black Dahlia, De Palma's way of proving even a permanently carved smile can't save a movie that dead on arrival. Where's that from? Where's that harsh assessment from? I do want to really talk about why it flopped, and maybe we'll move on to that very quickly just tonight. Thank you for the super chat. Not sure I get that. I'm not sure I get it, I'm afraid. I feel bad when I don't get a super chat. As in understand a super chat. And of course, Big Cover has come in and dropped 50 US dollars, which I believe you did last week, which was amazing. So massive thank you to you for that one. I can show minor appreciation with these reactions. I hope they show up on stream. But I think something else I can do is we're going to have to cover that movie. You've said another suggestion for consideration, Seconds, 1966. You also were very fond of 2000 Maniacs. I think we've got to do them. You can't, if you drop in $50, we're going to have to cover those movies. So
the next time you drop $50 though, if you do that, right, please be for a suggestion for Backrooms.
I will
say you got to do it. You got to stop and do it next week. Or in fact, stop what you're doing and review it now. Horror Show. That's what you've got to do. I am desperate. I know there's a democratic process going on at the moment, right? But step over democracy. Okay, I want us to cover that film.
It takes a mere one member to request it, but I tell you, backstage, TCG has been in heat, rubbing his legs together like a cricket, waiting to get at that movie. So don't keep him waiting.
No.
But yeah, Big Cover, thank you. Honestly, thank you. That is extremely generous. Those two movies, they are on their way. If Backrooms isn't requested this month, then we'll probably do 2000 Maniacs in the spare slot at the end. There we go. I love that John Garter's get the vibe of this $50 talk. Screw democracy.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
Well, oh my.
It's not bribery. It's lobbying. Okay. It's perfectly legal and above board.
TCG, what have you done? Is this legal?
Yes. Get in. Screw democracy. Big Cover. Come on. Next week, Backrooms, baby. Let's go. All right.
Come
on.
There we go. We'll kick off September with Backrooms.
Yes.
My word.
I'm going to be missing next week, as I told Proper. I've been called to jury duty.
Murgoot, alas.
Yay!
Just say you can't do it. Just say say you're too involved with whatever case they throw at you.
You could, in fact, just come in reciting racial slurs. You'd be sweet.
Yeah. Just
I wish I still had my leather jacket, my engineer boots, and my Killikami for Mommy T-shirt.
Nice. Big Cover 22, thank you ever so much. Your choices will be covered as soon as possible. Well, before we do Backrooms, we'll be covering back shots in The Black Darling. I'm pretty sure it happens. Don't worry, guys. I've got you covered. Or I've got them covered. I want to throw an Arabian Prince alt account. Big Cover, can you confirm? We'll have no glass table answers, so let me tell you. Okay, so something I wanted to lead in. This is from 2006. Something you may have noticed when this film started. Say it with me, guys. Did you notice gay? Did you notice the gay? That is the GmbH. That is a German corporation funded this. Whenever you see GmbH, it's like a PLC for Germany.
Gotcha.
And what does it mean when we see that kind of company funding a movie?
Is it anti-Jewish by any chance? I don't...
Propaganda.
I can show you some recommendations after the stream. But no, I'm accustomed to seeing it in quite a lot of cases, because usually when you see something is funded by French company, usually quite a few of them, like it'll be a French company, a German company, Channel 4, National Lottery presents, someone is working outside of the system. basically Hollywood is not coming in. They haven't got a big studio that wants to work with them. They are having to go down to. I mean, I don't want it to sound bad. Like, it is big money, but basically they're having to. I'm trying to think of a nice way of saying scrounge around, because Hollywood isn't giving them the big money. And you see quite a few directors, for one reason or another, end up doing this. Kubrick never had to, but David Lynch ended up doing this. Basically, Hollywood would not want to work with him, so he ended up making a lot with Dino De Laurentiis, and then going, well, I won't get dragged into it, but there's a very interesting French guy who basically hooks him up with the man who built the Channel Tunnel. His company also funded latest David Lynch movies. Weirdly enough, in the case of De Palma, though, he is following that model. He worked with Hollywood initially. He got some big hits with them, but by the time of 2006, he's not managed to produce the big box office draws that they want. They're kind of done with him, and he's having to go to European funding. We sort of missed out his 90s section, 90s career. I will try and cover that for you in a cheeky bonus with Waifu. But for me, it's kind of sad that at this point, this didn't get extra money, and this was basically, I think, partially because of the lack of studio support. That's a big factor in it flopping. And I sort of wanted to ask you guys why you thought it flopped, because this just about made its money back,
I think,
which means it lost money on the marketing.
Yeah, I think, and I actually just might answer Leiku Moon's question about whether I felt this film was exploitative or disrespectful to the Black Dahlia case, the real story, that is. And I've always been a bit like on the edge when it comes to covering cases like when we're sort of adapting real like true crime stuff. I'm not a moralist or anything like that, but I do think that there is an element of the care that you got to put into it, because at the end of the day, you know, it's a real life story. One thing I will say is this film is based on a book that was that they adapted for the big screen. Nonetheless, I do feel like they potentially could have handled it a bit better, and I imagine some
there is
people
a real woman. This is her.
Yeah,
this is Elizabeth Short.
Yeah, I think they aged her down in the film. I think they made her 15. I think in the
they
film.
did.
Yeah,
they
she was
also
22. She was 22 in real life when at the time of her death. One of the things they did as well that I noticed is they actually put a real picture of the of her face, which you can find online. Wouldn't recommend checking because it's quite grim. But towards the end of the film, you do see a real one of the real crime scene photos, and it's the full front of her face. And I'm just like, really? Like, why are we doing that?
Have that. Maybe we shouldn't have that. I didn't really know it was the actual one.
That they said she was 15.
They said she was 15, but she was 22 in real life.
Well, they gave her birthday as 1924, which in 1946 would have made her
22. Yeah,
I think they said she was found. They talked about her as age 15 and going out. I think so. They had photos of her when she was 15.
Yeah,
I think she is 22 in the movie, but
okay, fair enough.
Not sure.
All right, fair enough. But
they do mention her birthday in the cop shop.
That. Okay, fair enough. I missed that, but yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just felt a little bit uncomfortable, but and the whole sort of like the whole sort of reveal, like, oh no, actually we did solve it, but unofficially, kind of. Again, it's like, I don't know. In 40 years' time, we're going to do something like that with Madeleine McCann, like.
Yeah, it's sort of.
They kind of did with another TV show loosely, but.
I think you're right. It is super tricky. The ethics of it are quite dodgy. It's easy for us to feel detached, but there's
I think it wouldn't have been so much of a problem. Well, not so much of a problem, but I think it would have been a bit more interesting actually if I'm trying to think of the characters' names now. Who did Aaron Eckhart play?
Blanchard.
Blanchard, that's it.
Blanchard, Lee Blanchard, and Bucky.
Yes. So I think his sort of descent in, you know, the obsession that he had with the case. I think being unable to solve the case and sort of descending and going a bit off the rockers and perhaps dragging people like Bucky with him and other people, I think that would have been a bit. I think that would have been maybe a bit more of an interesting angle to take, but again, it's just like,
it's mentioned throughout the movie that Bucky's worried about his Benzedrine addiction. Proper and I were discussing Lee's paranoia, all the pressure he's under from the mob, the case, DeWitt, and then being on Benzedrine, which will foobar you hard.
Yeah, I only caught one Benzedrine reference, so Murgoot did a solid job there. Just a night is clarified that the Linda Martin character was 15. And I'm having to do a quick check. Who was Linda Martin? Who was she? Gosh darn it! Quick check.
It's not in the main credits, which is annoying.
Struggling on that. I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm not seeing the main cast. But thank you for the super chat.
I agree with one of the reasons why it flopped is I said it before that the second act was slow and boring. And then I read some comments where they said, I got to the second act and I quit because it lost all track and was just dragging. And I think that's one of the major problems with the film, not the story.
Yeah. Another thing as well they did.
Actually, just on Murgoot's point about the second act dragging, I do think that is a big factor because I would say that's the thing that stops the film having legs, as they say. So it's like, how can I say? You can have like a big splash and people are interested, but beyond that, the legs, the word of mouth is like once people are actually talking about it. So if the word goes out, have you seen the Black Dahlia? Yeah. The second act's it kind of drags. Like that's what starts to kill a film. So I think that will have been a factor. How about did you have another thing that you thought maybe affected it?
Maybe
I don't know why I lost the word affected then.
I don't know. I think maybe it's tricky, but I think at the time of the actual murders, there was a lot of, I mean, the media were very sort of like very much into like sensationalism. All right. It's kind of not too different from today, really. I mean, you look at what's going on with this whole Lindsay Clancy trial, and not necessarily, I'm not talking about those nut jobs, right, out there who were saying that she did nothing wrong or it was the husband or anything like that. But generally speaking, but talking about people who are covering it, because I'll probably talk about it at some point in a video, but I'm not going to do anything until the trial's actually done, right? But what I will say is when I'm hearing people talk about it now, and we're talking like big sort of like true crime circles, right? There's almost like an element of glee about it, and they are really diving into the drama and the conspiracies and things like that. And these are like these are like channels that are like linked off to like big ones like Law and Crime, right? And it's that annoying fucking Californian girl accent, right? That does my head in. But it's just vibes based true crime, right? Where it's like, oh my god, this is, you know. And then she just sat in the courtroom and she was just staring. Oh my god! And Patrick, we just don't know what he did for those 15 minutes. Where was he for those 15 minutes? It's such a weird thing. The defense really caught him on that, and it's like, mate, like that's not the important thing. The guy, for doesn't need to explain what he was doing for 15 minutes. And his 3 kids were murdered. Like, shut the fuck up and actually focus on what's going on in the trial, for fuck's sake, right? Pardon my French. It's riling me up, man. Honestly, there's so much. They're just idiots. All of them are just idiots. You got women hanging out of windows, right, trying to prove that she didn't jump from a bedroom window. Honestly, it's mad. It is actually mad. It's become, I've seen this used, but it is literally a litmus test now, I think. Thank God I've managed to get out of the dating pool 20 years ago. Because the first question I would ask now if I'm meeting a woman is, what do you think about the Lindsay Clancy case? And if they turn around and say that she did nothing wrong, or I'm out. No,
it's quick red flag check, isn't it?
Get out. Yeah. Get out. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I'll proper divulge. But I mean, but it sort of ties in with the sensationalism, the sort of hype. They were well into it. I mean, at that time, police and the media used to work quite hand in hand. We'll give you a little bit of information, so you can get the front pages, but it sort of worked hand in hand a little bit. And I think they do acknowledge this in the film, but the Black Dahlia moniker that she later was given was based off a film called The Blue Dahlia. And so they do acknowledge that. And, it almost kind of like kick-started like the whole nicknames for serial killers and all that malarkey. Not so much, but I think one of the things the media did do is they did sort of sensationalize her life a little bit at the time. They made her out to be a bit more promiscuous in sort of who she was and whatnot, when the reality is she wasn't anything like that, really. She did date a couple of blokes, but it was mostly just so that she could live. At most, she probably manipulated a couple of guys just to get just to sleep in a bed and have a meal and things like that. She worked as a waitress, didn't have any credit. She wanted to become an aspiring actress, but she was an aspiring actress, but she didn't have any credited roles in any films or anything like that. There was certainly no lesbian scenes or anything involving
what Lakeview was not a fan of.
Exactly. And it's just and for me that was just it was a massive sort of turn off in terms of why are we steering down this direction? We don't need to go down that direction with her. Again, you're talking about a real if it was a story based off of this and it was using different names, different things like that, fine, whatever, because you can use it as inspiration. That's fine. But the fact that they at the very end, but they're using real names, they're using real police fake, they're using her deceased face. They use and then and it's not how films at the end are this motion picture
I've got it right here. Where is it?
Brilliant, because it's the first time I've ever seen really something like that as the wording, as opposed to the bog standard any person in this is coincidental and not related to real life. This was very much, it's almost we might have we did push the limits a little bit, but actually it's not our fault. It's actually this person who wrote a book. Where's your
there is a real danger that this replaces the official history.
Well, that's it as well, because again,
this is what people are going to think of as the actual history. We've said it before, because I think there was another film that we covered a while ago where it was, I can't remember what it was. If you recall it, let me know. But it was around the time that this sort of true crime event had taken place, but it's very much in the background of the story, and it's not the main driving plot, but it's something that is there. And I felt like this film was, but I felt like this film was kind of trying to do that, because obviously you had this real life event, and you're watching a film called The Black Dahlia. You're probably going in with the expectation that you were watching a film about the Black Dahlia, right? And the actual investigation, that side of thing. Perfect for a noir film, let's be honest. But then you're getting all of these other little elements chucked in as well, about some dude being released from prison, and it's making Bucky a little bit and it's making Bucky a little bit Lee, as well as obviously Lee. Sorry, Lee. I beg your pardon, Lee. And him and his partner were former boxers, and there were some other little things going on that kind of distract from it. And unlike that film that we watched before, where it was very much yes, this is taking place at the same time as this, but what happened isn't what happened in real life isn't the main focal point. It's very much this. I felt like this film was kind of going a bit back and forth, trying to and it was almost like it was struggling to identify as to what it actually wanted to
be? Did it want to try and be a Black Dahlia investigation film, or did it want to sort of follow this unnecessary love triangle that sort of emerged?
I think the question is important, but it's sort of already been answered. Also, hello Devontae, always good to see you. The question kind of been answered because this was really just trying to take the success of James McEllroy's LA Confidential, which had come out in, I want to say 97, might have been 95, but this was in development for a long time. Like, original development started in 97. LA Confidential swept the board, and so every other Elroy book was hot property. So I think because of that, they were mostly focusing on let's just adapt rather than the ethics. Although I think there is quite a lot of ethical concern in here, and it does relate to the the lesbian angle that Dissident Knight is talking about here. Thank you again for the chat. And I'm going to have maybe a controversial, unpopular opinion. Do not roast me on it, but I thought the lesbian porn scene and all the lesbian angles were actually fantastic. I will go into a bit of that later, but basically, my own personal life may complicate this a little bit, but I rarely see that stuff covered well, and I thought it was done fantastically in this.
But the other problem is following on from TCG on the exploitativeness is Elroy and De Palma are both known for transgressive creations. And De Palma didn't push it as far as some of his other films, like Body Double, or
this was pretty tasteful in comparison, I'd say.
Yes, it was. But the lesbian scenes were fairly transgressive for the time.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
I forgot.
I really want to talk about this.
Katie Lang was the cross-dressing torch singer, which it brought up that scene, and I was like, "What? Wait, Katie Lang? Yep, it's Katie Lang."
Yeah. How I've got her. She's fabulous. Let's have her on screen a bit. She was.
I thought.
Oh, this was so good.
I thought that lesbian club scene was very interesting. It's probably not what a gay bar aimed for lesbian women looks like nowadays. I just love it when he was like
something I wondered about. Is like, this is cool and all, but could this have operated at this scale? Like, even in Hollywood, I just don't know. To me, it seems stretching. Do you guys want some weird detail here?
Before you do, I can't. Like, this woman in that frame looks like Paul Whitehouse.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, but that's Katie Lang.
Yeah, icon. All right, look, I'll just say, okay, so one of the things that bothers me is like lesbian clubs are like never as big as gay bars, right? This is a weird anomaly. Like, frequently there isn't a lesbian bar, there's like a lesbian night at a gay bar, like, where versus actually like setting up a venue and running it exclusively. Like, there are very few. Maybe I'm talking too much here. Like, there's the excellent, was it the Fox in Birmingham with its lady garden, very well tended lady garden there. That's a nice old pub, but otherwise it tends to, you tend to just like scab a night rather than have your own. I'm going to stop talking now.
I was going to say, I can't. I'll just have to take your word for it.
I'm just, it's weird to me that I struggle to believe, even in Hollywood, that something like this would exist. I could absolutely understand a gay version, but a lesbian bar like this, I don't even know if it would. I mean, we're talking about 1940s America. Like, I mean, Murgoot, you might be able to. You'd probably be able to speak on this, given the fact that you are American, not a lesbian, but you are a lesbian.
Lesbianism was never seen as distasteful as
the male equivalent.
Yeah, it's it's because there's a beauty in it, aside from the fact that every lesbian night I got dragged to gay bars by my girlfriends periodically. And yeah, there's lesbian night, but it looks more like a motorcycle club is in there.
Confirmed. Yes. Lots of yeah, honestly, like people are just going to B&Q to collect some tiles is a lot of the dress code, but never mind. Yeah, look, I'll quickly let's round off. Just I had one more reason why I think this failed, basically, apart from lack of promotion because it wasn't connected to a major studio. The other thing is because it took so blooming long to come out. This was meant to ride the heat of LA Confidential, and it took like an extra it took 10 years. 10 years. The heat is dead. You know, it's long since the days of where you'll just, you know, defrost and reheat a franchise after 20 years, although exceptions exist, Psycho 2. But yeah, the heat had died down, which I think is why it flopped, which is a real shame because I think this is a great little movie. I really enjoyed it. And not just because it starts with Josh Hartnett getting pounded in the ring, followed by and ending with Scarlett Johansson telling him to come inside.
I pointed it out. I noticed that one.
I did like the world building at the first, where they're involved in the Zoot Suit riot.
Could you tell us what that is? Because I meant to look that up. What the heck was a Zoot Suit
riot? It started near the end of World War II. The Zoot Suits were really popular with Latin culture. The Mexicans and the Filipinos it was the big style, but a lot of them were dodging the draft. And when all the sailors came back for shore leave, the sailors hated the Zoot Suits because they were dodging the draft. They weren't doing their duty. And the Zoot Suits hated the sailors because they were taking all the women and the booze. And they got into a huge riot.
It is a large scale
aspect also really hurt.
You were talking about the length of time it took for this to come out, and it got me thinking about Grand Theft Auto. And so I thought, hang on, what version of GTA, what GTA were we on at the time that this film came out? And the answer to that question is Vice City Stories, which came out the same year, 2006.
There we go.
So we didn't even have GTA 4 when this film came out. Which actually, after this stream, I will be going on Netflix and I'll be checking out the extended thing, because that came out at the same time as this stream.
Well, hey,
8 o'clock. So, and I'm trying to keep away from the leaks. I really am, as tempting as they are.
I haven't seen anything about it, but I don't play the franchise. But you know, if we're doing the George R.R. Martin scale, Feast for Crows had just come out. Dance with Dragons would be any 6 years now. 6 years.
He's next books any day now. Come on.
Pledge 5. The best Hartnett movie since Faculty. Also Zoot Suit War. Didn't they outlaw the Zoot Suit in LA? They tried. They really tried, but that community was way too large to ban it outright. That's part of the reason why the riot happened.
Amazing. That is amazing. But I suppose it's like banning the top knot. It's like a way of signaling, like, if you're wearing that, you're in a subculture, just like how I know. Okay. Was it you can't wear red laces on your docks, or certain venues won't let you in, etc. Like they're aware of subcultures.
Are treated without them going to their festivals. Seen with suspicion.
Hang on. I don't know how to say this. I'm just going to call you EM. What did you miss? How was Katie Lang involved with the film? Well, the film is I'm just going to be a brief overview. This is a fictionalized and heavily fictionalized adaptation of a real-life murder of a woman called Elizabeth Short. And it's called The Black Dahlia Affair, it was in 1947. And basically, it's looking at this was a way at looking at the sort of seedier side of Hollywood. This was, and America in general, this was what Elroy was, the author, was very interested in. And a lot of this sort of Hollywood underbelly stuff is linked to the sort of adult movies, gay culture. The movie is a way of sort of, it uses this murder as a way of looking at that, and I think quite a clever way. And as part of that, he ends up investigating a bunch of lesbian bars. One of our main detectives investigates a bunch of lesbian bars to try and find out which one the victim may have gone to, which is already interesting because I just love that they said bars. He goes to a couple. They've got different flavors. It wasn't just, oh, there's only the one. So you get a few scenes at them. I like this bartender very much. And K.D. Lang has an uncredited role as the very butch singer. And I've said it before. I'm going to repeat it for you now. I think it is extremely rare for a film to get lesbianism right, and I think this one actually did. Like, there are actual butches, like, which is already putting you ahead of 90% of movies, which is a femme-only affair. I maybe need to shut my mouth.
I've just sent you an image.
You never see authentic butches. Never see it. There she is. If you want to appreciate her.
I've just sent you an image of what I believe to be the 21st century equivalent of the UK zoot suit.
Yes, let me get that on screen. Yeah, this is the equivalent. When you are like, oh, why would you ban a zoot suit? It's the equivalent. Yes, very well said. It's the equivalent of banning this. Or just there's a like. Why would you do
culture this? Infiltrating Britain?
Mate, it's retarded.
Yeah, the thing of just like, when you see Ute with just like a full-on, it's basically a balaclava, but it's like it looks like a lycra balaclava. I do not get that, but it's like someone wearing that in the day, you just know something's going on.
They need to ban the accent as well. That terrible.
The accent has to go first. Yeah. EM. I've never seen K.D. Lang live. I've actually only caught the lightest bit of her. That my preferred listening of that choice is obviously Tegan and Sarah, but I do like a bit of It's really quite weird to, you know how they're written. It's hard to say that out loud. That's my go-to sapphic listening.
Would be the Indigo Girls or L7 or
L7's a bit punkier than that.
Yeah,
I don't know,
but they fall in the same Lilith Fair.
Yeah, the Lilith Fair crowd. I'm somewhat partial. Ian, you are welcome. You're welcome. It's rare I get to talk about this stuff, and I maybe done it a bit too much already. Oh gosh, I mean, let's see. I'm torn over where to go in, but we're sort of already on the trajectory. Shall we just talk about the sort of seedy Hollywood underside? Shall we just go into that stuff? It feels like, my goodness, it's very keen to do that.
Jewish mob. You've got the black mafiosos who are selling drugs. You've got the black prostitute.
Yeah.
You've got the lesbian clubs. You've got the literal cattle call, which is right here.
I mean, yeah, I think how can I say, the film is really quite blatant in talking about this highly permeable barrier. Like, lots of osmosis is happening between seedy stuff in the films, which is the legit face, and a seedy side. Like, you come in for the legit side, but you are passed through to the exploitative side very, very quickly. And yes, John, you're right. Rose McGowan. Do you want to? It took me a while to recognize her in this. Here she is. She's having a great time in this.
I tell you what, this bloody film, man, it did surprise me with some of the casting choices, and I was like, oh, a minute. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, I mean,
with the biggest culmination of the seedier side, where the mob boss is cremating Lee and Georgie just to keep it away from the real estate developers, keep it from being exposed.
Yeah. There was how can I say? This was a great scene when they get down to it, but it's a little on the nose. But this far into the film, I let them have it. But the whole thing of he's literally been knocked out, so he's holding an ice pack to his head, and Blanchard's going into the fire. Hey, it's Mr. Ice and Mr. Fire. They set that up earlier in the movie.
Hey, do you know what?
It's on the nose, but I will allow it. I will allow it.
Wild theory here. Back me up on this one, chat. I reckon it was this scene that made Christopher Nolan go, Harvey Dent.
Could do it. Eckhart does get to show a lot of range here. A heck of a lot of range. It's also, I loved how helpless Bucky was. Like, obviously, he's going to go along with it because he's in a room with this guy and about 5 muscle.
Yeah.
Like, the fire's right there. You're obviously cooperating. But, yeah, like the seedier side.
You discover through the whole thing, even with his lieutenant, his captain, and his chief being told, back off on this a little bit. You're trampling on some toes. And Bucky's very politically aware by the end, where it's, well, at the very end, he just doesn't give a flying because he shoots up Emmett's house. He shoots up, and then the mother shoots herself, and
that was so.
The newspaper headline: accidental gun discharge.
Yes. Distant Night has sent in another $5 Thank you ever so much. Saying, speaking of the Jewish mob, Bugsy Siegel is in the book. I do not get that reference. It's not a bit of history I know about.
Siegel was the major developer of Las Vegas.
Oh, thank you, Murgoot.
Also involved in the water wars of LA.
Well, thank you. See, Murgoot, you're an absolute treasure on these. You are a fount of knowledge. There was something else we caught in this specific scene when we're talking about how the movie, just like Body Double, talks about this sort of very permeable barrier between Hollywood and sleaze, where the sleaze is like the dark shadow of Hollywood. This movie does that too. Brian De Palma has a consistent theme, and also I think it's very interesting that Rose McGowan, who would really kick off Me Too, right? She's in this. This, we should say this is 2006. So this is after Lost Highway. It's after Mulholland Drive. It's after Scream 3. 3 movies which came really close to the forefront of just directly calling out what was happening with Hollywood. So
I thought, hang on a minute. Am I going to have to? I realized what you're talking about, because when you said Scream 3, I thought, hang on a minute, Rose McGowan was in Scream. Not Scream 3. Yeah. I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about now.
The topic.
Screen reference.
Yeah, we got to get them in. There's a reference in this which really stuck out to me, and Distant Night knows because I sent him the exact timestamp. I was like, oh my gosh, they said it. This scene calls out the Weinstein of its day.
Ooh.
Yes. And the name escaped me for a second, but I've got it back. In this exact scene, she talks about David O. Selznick. And if you've been around this, the guy who produced Gone with the Wind, and I learned all the dialogue, and he was so nice to me. If anyone's been around this channel long enough, I've dropped the lore on David O. Selznick, but to call him the Weinstein of his day is to be flattering to him, because he was.
He made Weinstein look like an amateur.
Yeah. He went for a very young Shirley MacLaine. The guy had a custom switch installed on his desk in his office that locked the doors. He had a grape switch.
Oh dear.
I know. David O sounds like
Oh
awful.
dear.
Yes. Yeah. His daughter, for reasons I have no idea, but also killed herself quite young. I have no idea why. Or terrible. But yeah, so by her directly dropping Selznick's name, he is not talking about just, I feel like he is not just talking about what Hollywood was doing. He's talking, Brian De Palma is kind of cluing us into what Hollywood is doing.
Yeah.
Still.
Almost like what Seth MacFarlane did in that interview at one time. Just those little subtle, like, well, I suppose it wouldn't need to be subtle, because I'm sure it would have all been out in the public for this dude by 2006. But Hollywood just hasn't changed, man. It's all.
I've got the feeling I
drinking baby's blood and
Harvey
human
Weinstein was
sacrifice.
probably the scapegoat for it, and they were like,
Yeah.
okay, he's hung out to dry. Now the rest of you can carry on.
Yeah,
but that's my dark impression. But I loved this stuff. I thought this was done well. This was done sensitively. I have a minor gripe in that I feel the attempts to make old film stock quality is not successful here, because the film shows us like old film stock. I mean, admittedly, like 1920s film stock, but this to me looks very much like modern film with a filter. And not actual old film. Did you guys think that too?
I felt like that. Yeah, it just looked like high definition black and white.
No grain.
Yeah,
too sharp.
Audio too clear.
There were some very interesting people in the running to play Elizabeth Short here. Rose McGowan went for it, but didn't get the main role. Eva Green was offered it, but didn't want to go down that road. Sherilyn Fenn, Audrey from Twin Peaks, was in the running. I really wish she had done it, to be honest with you.
She was a bit too old at that point.
Yeah, it's because they spent so damn long developing the film, annoyingly.
Well, I heard they tried to offer the role to Zendaya, but she was only like 9 years old at the time. So
yeah, Pedro Pascal, wasn't quite ready to be in absolutely everything. Yeah. But this is Mia Kirshner, who interestingly would go on to be in The L Word. We're keeping up our lesbian tracking here, but I think she did a rather good job. But I would suggest not she did a pretty darn good job, but not so good that I wasn't curious about how someone else might have done it. Yeah, I think height of Me Too being 2017 makes sense. Basically, that is when they spoke openly about it. But I feel in the movies there was a building pressure where people were getting more and more open about it. So early attempts to discuss it had to sort of hide it and veil it quite a lot. Scream 3 is fairly blatant about it. But, Mulholland Drive and Lost Highway, it's pretty obvious what they're talking about if you're looking for it. But it's not just straight up and coming out and saying that the casting couch is like a really awful thing. There's probably others. So yeah, I would love Sherilyn Fenn in this. I think she'd been good. Eva Green would have also been amazing in it. If you've seen her in that Bertolucci movie, whose name I can't remember. The French one.
Scene. That's
that's it. Yeah, the slightly incestuous one. Gosh, I can't remember it, but she really can act. She'd have been great, but Kirshner does do a good job. And something I love in all of these is she's got this level of desperation in all, like she just manages to communicate how desperate she is over and over again.
The Dreamers.
Dreamers, thank you. I'd recommend that one. What about you, Murgoot?
It's a decent movie. It's well, some people definitely watch it just for certain scenes, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a decent movie.
Oh gosh, darn it. I thought aha. Apologies. I do have other of her sort of casting call recordings. I'm trying to find the exact screen cap because I thought I had the one where she basically crawls on her knees towards a. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Where is it?
I know which one you're talking about. That was again I felt very out of place for the 1940s.
I think the idea, it does feel out of place, but I've got the feeling like it is saying like this stuff did happen. Oh, apologies. I have it here. It was this one. I love that there's this thread as we're seeing these videos that were never meant to be released. And they just have this woman increasingly degraded as she tries to look into it. Until the point where she crawls on her knees, and then it gets to, you know, ultimately the gosh darn it.
But you know the annoying thing,
I don't know if I can get away with this one.
The annoying thing for me
this one.
But the annoying thing for me is this stuff didn't happen. Not that it didn't happen, but to Elizabeth Short, it just didn't happen.
No. And that is an important proviso that we have to know. This is a fictionalized version.
I mean, this is some writer who basically had a bit of a kink, I reckon, and decided to. It's just a book. It's just a book, guys. It's just a book. It's just a book. And then Brian De Palma went along and went, "It's just a film. It's just a film. It's just a film."
De Palma is certainly not shy about doing erotic stuff. Like he's always stood up for it. And there was, I don't know if people are interested in this, but there was a real time when Hollywood was going to consider trying to make porn classy. Do you know about this?
No.
Okay. So, like, the leash was coming off on censorship a bit, and there was an idea, like, stag films, as they get referred to in this, was kind of available. And there was a question of, like, okay, we can push the bounds, but, like, is anyone just going to come out and do a straight-up, full-on film like this, full-on stag film, and try and make it legit, you know? Now, Stanley Kubrick was considering this. He wrote Dr. Strangelove with a guy called Terry Southern, who, you know, he had a good relationship with. Terry Southern, bit of a weird character. And he was really trying to sell Stanley Kubrick on, make this film, blue movie. Like, big stars, full-on shagging, right? And Kubrick was considering it, and even screened a couple of, like, hardcore movies to people, and we're like, yeah, what do you think? We could do this, right? He ultimately did not do it, and there was a kind of parody movie about the attempt to do it with someone playing a stand-in for Kubrick. But I feel like De Palma was a guy who would have enjoyed that. Like, he didn't like having to rein it in. He enjoyed putting the eroticism on screen. But in this, I feel like he is actually very sensitive at knowing, like, what is eroticism you can enjoy. So awkward talking about this stuff. What's eroticism you can enjoy, like the Hilary Swank stuff, and what's stuff that you're not meant to enjoy? Like, this stuff goes, like, the scene, like, by the end, like, she is just in despair. She's sure is going along with it.
Yeah.
But it very swiftly goes into, like, absolutely horrible territory that she cannot enjoy. And yes, John Gorris, Hollywood went with gory violence instead.
Look,
everyone can enjoy gory violence.
All I am going to say is if Elizabeth Short really did films like this, it would give her nickname, the Black Dahlia, a whole different meaning.
Ooh, woo.
It's a shame we don't have canned laughter on this stream.
Alas.
Okay.
I was distracted by the title, The Devil in Miss Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No comment.
Look at that face behind
comment.
that.
I'll be right back. I'm being silent.
Fair play.
No worries.
Fair
no worries.
play.
But
No,
yeah, you can
it's
tell
not-
there's no acting here. It's just like, well, I mean, obviously it was acting, but you can tell that she's obviously supposed to be conveying like discomfort, and there's no pleasure. It's completely the opposite as to what the scene is meant to be portraying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's very obvious.
weirdly,
This isn't how she envisaged making it in Hollywood. Let's try and
making it
understand
in the
what the scene is trying to
1970s
tell us.
sense.
Yeah.
Remember Taxi Driver? Come on, mister. Don't you want to make it? That line threw me off for years. Yeah, I mean, weirdly, this is how like most lesbian scenes in films look to me, because like I just don't get the vibe that the actresses are into it at all. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird about that, but it just always looks a bit wrong to me.
Maybe I'll take your word for it again. Might have to go and do some research to verify your claims.
Yeah. But I thought it was very believable when they work up sort of like, okay, kissing, they're going along with it. She's been pretty degraded by this point, and she clearly needs the money. And it just moves into the uncomfortable territory where, and I can't show it on screen, but basically you can already,
genuinely
an item comes out.
Yeah, and like genuinely,
I've got it covered. We're okay. We don't. I got a new Britisher to cover us. What do you think?
That is right. I'm screenshotting that. Hold on. Don't you go anywhere. That man is seeing that. He's seeing that. Oh, hold on.
Oh, Devontae, I did say hi. I did say hi to you. Yeah, I can't reveal the item that our blonde friend is holding there.
Let's just say you would find something of a similar shape in the vegetable aisle of your local supermarket.
Yes.
It's green.
I mean, I think it was one that was. It's a shame we can't show it because it kind of it looked a bit scary. It looked
well.
Like
I mean,
there were like horns on it.
I can't help but think like, well, was that even a thing that they did in the 40s? Like, I mean, like again, I'm just purely talking about that kind of material in the 40s. Yeah. It looks like something that is out of that is not of its time.
Yeah,
it's funny because I do watch Finn versus History. It's a comedy podcast. Yeah. They do history stuff. Absolutely brilliant. And I'm pretty sure like the first things of those were invented in like the late 19th
Victorian
century
ages. Yeah, that's when you got the hysteria treatment. But so
it's not like it wasn't around. But I'm just thinking like, is that something that was seen?
I think so. They're in the artistic world. I think they're doing it for the aesthetic. And as Sister Knight says, it's meant to be a snake. There are fangs. Well, how symbolic is that? But it made it. It was great for it just looking unpleasant. Obviously, I can't show the actual thing, but if you've done your homework, you have seen the item that we're carefully avoiding saying. And then later, it's like, again, just, I can't show the scene in full, but, I've got us covered. It's...
Yeah.
She's just not enjoying it.
Right, screenshotting that as well.
Are we liking?
We're loving
it. As to that kind of film, you're right. It did start in the late 19th century with the Nickelodeons and the cinematographs. For the 1930s on up to, the 1960s, look up loops.
Look up
loops. Loops.
Loops.
Short,
okay.
8 minutes.
Where's that one gone?
Much like what they cut things down to now on famous sites like, you know where they are.
Yes. I absolutely. Where is it? I think I've got. I've just got into it. I like doing my themed Britishers. So yeah. I just love this scene. the scene where they're watching it and you've got like the sort of some guys seem to be enjoying the luridness, and Blanchard is just like kettle
He
boiling.
spazzes out.
I loved this. This was one of my favorite scenes. Just yeah, it seemed big cover appreciating the Britishette. And obviously the feet had to be out. I had to put the feet out, right?
The cat girl college.
Let's see what he has to say about it, shall we?
You're not tagging him.
I bloody well am. There we go.
Poor Britisher. FYI, this weird little horror stream uses you to censor objectionable scripts and is now doing Britisher edits. I could give the lore on that, but it's sort of funnier to just not explain it.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Lovely.
There we go. I've just sent you a link.
Oh dearie me. Big storm here, guys. Big storm.
Oh, was it? Oh, has it arrived? Excellent.
Yeah. Wait.
Devontae.
Oh, apparently I'm mentioned in the back of Devontae's book. Oh, you star. Thank you very much, Devontae. I am
nice.
I am chuffed. I'm also slightly worried about what Mr. British.
Yeah, I forgot what the context was. It turns back. Oh, it was. Yeah. Maybe don't be so thankful.
I don't know if you. Yeah, what kind of literature, Devontae? We need to know. This is a family-friendly stream for the most part. You see, thanks to
Not
thanks to our
last
good
week,
friend, the
not
British
this week.
I've done my best.
It's very impressive. Very impressive.
Good times. Yeah, again, we're seeing like it doesn't look like actual footage of the time. It looks like it's just a filter. I could do that in Premiere Pro. Whereas I'm thinking of something like Inside Number 9 when they did that 1980s play episode. Was it their Krampus one? And it was like Devil of Christmas. And they went back and used the old equipment and it looked amazing. Oh man. That was good. That was so good. Britishette is here to keep it family friendly. Cat ears and bare feet are totally innocent. Trust. It's a bit of a Finster vibe, isn't there? Let's all move on from that. Let's all move on.
Shame on me. I'm not the one who wrote about proper horror show. I'll have you know, Devontae. They are, mate. That dude, honestly, again, even then, I can't see that man as a real face. I can only see him as L.A. Noire.
Yeah.
The technology they used to create the faces on that game, which was only ever used the once.
What?
Because it was deemed too expensive.
Oh right.
Yeah. They used it was like this new technology that they brought in to capture the faces, to try and get all the to capture the emotions, because part of the game is you're interrogating witnesses and suspects, and you have to try and determine whether they're telling the truth, lying, or if you need to give it a little bit, or if you want to sort of like pull back a little bit from pressing, but you have to pay attention to their facial expressions. They kind of give the game. And the guy Patrick Fisher, who plays Mickey Cohen in the games, is just a great character, and it's very sort of like animated face, and it's and I can't see him in anything other than that. I'll try and see if I can find a picture. It's such a great game. It's such a great game.
Yeah. Speaking of memorable faces, I feel there is one person I'd love to bring up, which is, oh no, where is he? I've lost him. Gosh darn it.
Fear not, they are coming back, and I promise you they are coming back, because I am in the middle of editing a video at the moment. We have I have recorded the audio. I'm going to finish off the editing tonight on that, and then I'm going to start actually piecing it all together. So I'm hoping to have it out next week. Asking you shall receive.
Exclusives. So on the extremely memorable faces, guys, how do you like this lad? I'm going to leave it up for people.
I mean, it's all right.
Place him for a while. Okay. This guy is one of De Palma's regulars, like Greg Henry. He does show up in this. Absolutely, Dr. Prepper. That's Patrick Fisher's number one. But this here is your boy, William Finley. We love our William Finley.
Oh,
and
okay.
we even remember him, if I can find his... Why can I never find the photos? Here we go. All the way back in Sisters. So this is him in 1972. We are looking at him, a fair bit on from that. But he's still got such a distinctive face. And I love that. I've said this before, but I love directors who have like a stable of actors that they just keep going back to over and over again. Like Lynch with McLaughlin and Laura Dern. And in this case, Brian De Palma with William Finley. A mere 32 years later, and he's back with his absolutely unforgettable face. I mean, slightly made up to have sort of disfigurement, but all good to see him. He's been in every single Brian De Palma movie we've reviewed. And,
that scene is POV. You are on Reddit and don't trust the Soyans.
We got an Aryan here, boys. Gotta take care of him.
I just sent you a picture of the guy, Patrick Fisher's character in LA Noire. If you wanted to have a look, there's other pictures as well. I mean, it's quite contrasty. But
oh my goodness me!
Yeah.
That's cursed. That is cursed.
They only to my knowledge, they only ever use this. It's Rockstar again, it is Rockstar who I think financed the technology that they used, but it was like 360-degree cameras. So basically, the actors are just sitting in this chair, and it's just got all these cameras around them. It's kind of like it's like pre-mocap, if you will, or even, not like sort of like mid-mo. Like mocap was a thing, obviously, but yeah, it was kind of like an alternative to mocap, and they literally just got these cameras. Just there was a whole making of LA Noire's like mini documentary that I think came with the game, that was built into the game, because they were really showing off this technology, and it was the only time it was ever used because it was too bloody expensive.
Alas.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. And bearing in mind, what you've got to remember is what you're seeing there is probably maybe the PS3/Xbox 360 version. The game was so big, actually, for the Xbox 360. Pretty sure it was like 4 discs for the 360. That it might have been actually it might have just been 2, actually. I could be wrong. But
hang on, there's Fischler as he appears in the movie. If anyone's interested, I feel I should get this up on screen. Fischler in the movie, Fischler in LA Noire. Hopefully people have seen that. LA Noire. There you go. He's just
playing a character on the other side of the fence, but stylistically is exactly the same. Like the mannerisms of which he speaks in the Black Dahlia is exactly the same as in this game. I was like, hold on. It was the voice that got me first. It was the voice I picked up on first. I was like, hold on a minute.
There's also weirdly familiar bits in this. Like, I was pretty sure the police building they filmed in was like the Court of Justice in Jacob's Ladder. Like, I just recognized the stairs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I watched too many movies. Look,
and it actually, the police department, I mean, it's based in, obviously, Los Angeles, I think. It even looks like the police station in LA Noire, probably because It is, but yeah, I mean, again, like aesthetically, it's yeah, it was just everything just reminded me of LA Noire, like from the opening scene, from like the character, like this chap, a partnership that goes sour. It was all literally all there. It's all there. Did it sell well? I think it did okay. I think it did sell well. But I think a lot of the criticism about it, ironically, was about the about the act, not the but the facial acting. It looked very uncanny, and yeah, and I think there was some. But I think the bloody story was fantastic. I think it was great, and yeah, I bloody loved it. I loved it. I've got it for the. I still actually have it for the 360, and I think I might have it for the PS5. I should play it. I should stream it one day.
Should. I'd be interested. It's like was it Heavy Rain?
Got that? Yep.
One of those I've just I've heard a lot about.
It's a weird, yeah, but that's a weird one though. That is a weird game. I mean, it's made by French people, so it's definitely, it is weird. Yeah, it's weird. It's all right, but it's weird. But it's got that sort of like noir-esque vibe about it as well. And obviously, I won't give anything away about that game. Yeah.
Listen, this far into the stream, it occurs to me that we should probably. There's something I. Oh, okay. Devontae's posting the stuff from the back of his book where we're mentioned. There we go. Oh, Charles. So, something I felt that we should address in this is that how the mystery is wrapped up, because although it's called the Black Dahlia, there's quite a lot of other stuff going on. There's a lot of delving into the personal life of the detectives with their sort of love story. Where is it? I mean, if you don't know where this is going from this early on, did you just on this? She makes a point of noting that Blanchard, she lives with Blanchard. He kind of saved her, but they don't sleep together. Is he a fruit? Is he a fruity boy?
I don't think so.
I'm just, why do they not? I didn't quite understand that.
Are you trying
is
to
he just like Murgoot? Did you ever take on this? Why doesn't Blanchard sleep with Scarlett Johansson's character Kay Lake? What's going on, big guy?
All I'm going to say, right, is if I was Aaron Eckhart's character, okay, and Scarlett Johansson says, "Come in."
Wow.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow. Murgoot, rescue us from Smart.
Hard. Very hard. But
right, okay, right.
Oof,
okay.
Oof.
That's not rescuing us from Smut.
No,
that's TMI, my man.
Do I have to put a Britisher over you?
No, I don't think he's a fruit. I think he's got a savior complex.
Yeah.
And he's afraid to touch her because he knows exactly where she came from.
Yes, we do get some brief backstory on that. Could you just tell people that if they haven't done the homework?
DeWitt, who's off stage for most of the film, he's set to be released from prison. She was dating him and he abused her severely. Bucky sees the scars on her back and pieces together some of what's going on. And then it's said later on that DeWitt was very abusive and Lee saved her from DeWitt. And not much comes of it, but the way it's tracked, Lee's in love with her, but he's afraid to do anything with her because he knows exactly what she went through.
Okay.
Lee is very, as you can see from him being disturbed by Betty's body, when they're showing the loop of Betty, he gets rather frustrated and charges off. He's got a savior complex, but he's afraid to do anything.
I go with that. I think we were talking backstage about there's a reference to something we have to set up for people. This was originally a 3-hour movie. In fact, before Brian De Palma was making this, David Fincher was set to put this together. And I believe he wanted to do it as like an 8-hour thing, like as a mini series, which, my goodness, please. I want that project. David Fincher making this as a mini series, please. Would love it. Where was I going with that? Anyway, basically, there's a lot in here that got cut out. Distant Night was telling me about stuff in the book that's removed. Even getting it down to 3 hours is leaving a lot out. And then the studio said, this is too long. We can't be doing it. And they ordered him to cut it to 2 hours. So like over an hour of material is removed from this movie. I have looked. The long cut is not available anywhere, which seems brutal, as even Hellraiser 4 has a work print that you can buy. Savage. I want the 3-hour version of this. But I feel one of the main victims of that, losing an hour of footage, is Blanchard. Because my experience of watching this was sort of, they see the case, and then Blanchard kind of goes snooker loopy straight away. Like he is out of his mind almost instantly.
Yeah.
And then you just get a line of dialogue explaining it, and you're like, oh, all right then. That was quite nice. That had dramatic potential. A lot of dramatic potential there, and I think it just somewhere in losing the hour. Yeah, Devonte, exactly. HBO, perfect. Wherever, even Mindhunter on Netflix is able to do whatever it wants. But HBO would have been absolutely perfect for it, and that's where it would have been grand. Yeah, a lot of the film is this, and I think as part of that, because so much of the time is spent on the DeWitt storyline, which is basically, about Blanchard's early corruption and rescuing Kay and so on, you do get, it builds up to an incredible set piece, which we've partly discussed, which is where we get to see our good friend, Mr. Finchley. We were only just talking about him a second ago. Finley, thank you. It's where we see this wonderful set piece here, and this kind of comes like it's straight out of The Untouchables. Brian De Palma doing a bit of self-reference here. But once that's sorted out, they have to wrap up the title plot pretty quickly. And I'll throw this out there. So Waifu is a huge Agatha Christie fan, loves her murder mysteries, right? And we were watching Ludwig on BBC yesterday, and we spotted a flaw in Ludwig that I think we saw in this, and it's a bad murder mystery thing. Basically, when the detective, the solver, comes to the crime scene, sometimes they just sort of get to the right place and the right person, but they don't have what they need to solve it. Basically, just they find someone and they just start confessing, and it's like, oh, like, and this film does that. Like, it wasn't really solved. It's just he went to the right place.
Yeah.
Done about, like, he could not have put, by the time he's at the mansion, shooting Ming vases.
I think
if Fiona Shaw didn't basically try and save the movie by throwing every ounce of acting in her body at this in quite a bravura moment, I don't think it's solved. He needed her to explain the whole thing to him.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think there's a scene of this film which completely proves your point more, than the scene where he's hammering the tiles in the bathroom, I think it is, or in the kitchen, wherever it is. He's hammering tiles, and then he just so happens to stumble across the money from this bank job that Scarlett Johansson's other half had been involved in, right? And the problem I have with that just in general is the fact that when she's saying, like he was using the money to like pay off things, or was using the money to save, and I'm thinking, like, how is he pulling that money out of there every time and then relaying those tiles without her noticing? Or why is he doing that all the time? Why does it look so? Why does that area look just like the rest of that particular area? Like, you'd think if you were pulling those tiles up every time and relaying them, that's going to look very fresh compared to everywhere else. And also, why is he tiling that area? Why is he bringing those tiles up? What is the purpose? What's going on? Why was
she totally unconcerned about where the money was?
Exactly.
I would have thought a decent subplot of her like scouring the house.
Yeah,
just like it doesn't take much, but just capture a few times, like digging in, like she's always like digging somewhere, like in the back of the cupboard. Like you just see her doing that before she starts a conversation with him, just so you get the idea. Like, oh yeah, she is looking all over the house for it because she wants to find this money. But she, as you say, he kind of stumbles upon it in a fair old way, and then she just explains a ton to him.
Yeah. Like there's no big reveal or anything like that. It's just, oh, we've found this out now. Oh, I'm going to tell you. Like a lot of this film is him just stumbling upon something and then just being told everything. And that's a big problem I had with this film, especially in the
too much exposition, not enough showing.
Yeah.
I also. Yeah, that's 100% it. You get to the end, you cannot piece this together yourself, and this person just spells it out. I don't think he had it, but like even the trail that he starts to follow in the later bit of the third half. Tell me if I'm wrong on this, but the big thing is he's rewatching one of those naughty little loops.
What a horn dog!
Special thanks to Emmett Linscott, who has some very interesting opinions on World War II. But
oh god, that quote was classic.
Would you?
I tell you what, Steve Laws would absolutely love Emmett Linscott. He would absolutely love him.
No comment. Other than based in Batten Build.
It's very, 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 very,
but,
very.
I don't know. Would a respectable landowner basically credit himself on a stag film? Like,
I was going to say, isn't this
something they wouldn't? Because this is the big thing that leads him through to, I'll go to the set. Oh, I found the set. I mean, it's like it's a good creepy scene, but
what was it illegal at the time as well? Was it illegal?
You know, guys, you have a toddler, you don't get to do this stuff, but we still owe people a long coverage on the MPAA.
Right.
We got to do it, man. Got to do it. Maybe I will clear.
I mean, I don't know what the money purchase annual allowance has to do with this, but okay, I'm intrigued to see I'm intrigued to see those two dots connect.
I see. Bless him. Distant Night. Oh gosh, we missed one. Distant Night. We missed one from you. I think this was a while ago. I'm sorry about this. Distant Night sent in $5 Aussie back when we were discussing early Scandal and David O. Selznick and that sort of rather scandalous stuff, and said in the memoir about Mars Attacks, Gems mentioned that's Jonathan Gems, the screenwriter of Mars Attacks, mentioned Sylvia Sidney, who was the granny who had been a silent film star, and she had to live with, care for, and give Judy Garland her medicine aka the drugs that the studio had hooked her on in order to get her to keep to her schedule.
Wow.
I think I remember you saying that back in the day. She basically lived in a harem, didn't she, with a producer?
Oh, wow.
Scandalous. And Distant Night also sent in $10 saying Blanchard framed Bobby DeWitt for bank robbery that he perpetrated to rescue Kay. Already on his downward spiral with all that, and he steps out on Kay, and that's why they're not sleeping together. Okay, yeah, it fits in as well. I like the savior complex angle as well. I do like that. But
it could be a bit of both, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's probably right from what Dissident Night said. It's more. I could also imagine it being something like, like keeping up appearances. It's kind of like he is acting as a protector, but let's frame it as a relationship, and it's almost convincing to the point where Josh Hartnett's character Bucky is like believes in it, because she is thirsty for that man. She is thirsty for that
from the start,
and he does not act on it really until Lee's out the picture. Really, he even tells her explicitly. He was, full credit to him, man. He was massively bros before hoes.
He was indeed. He shut that down straight away. She got grumpy with him. She got the right amp.
Yeah,
Blanchard seemed, I don't know, oddly cool with it. Maybe I'm just ruined by modernity, but sort of he's at a big distance when they're at a New Year's ball and the first kiss happens, and then
but again, it's more of like a playful. It's
cautious.
Just to confirm, this is. I wouldn't say it's. What was it you said? Is it based on true events? Yeah, was this movie purely fictionalized? The story between the main characters is, but it's attached to a real life murder that took place in 1947. The Black Dahlia. It's one of like the biggest true crimes, the unsolved true crimes in America. There are some elements of it that are true, i.e., the picture of her face towards the end of the movie when after Lee's dead, and Bucky like sort of pulls down, like goes through, like pulls down a couple of pictures on the wall or something. There's some pictures on the wall. One of them happens to be an actual mugshot of Elizabeth Short after she was found and murdered. She did have 5 sisters. Her father did live in California, although I don't know whether he ran a burger shop. He used to make miniature golf courses or design miniature golf courses up until the financial crash in 29. And then he faked his death when Elizabeth was about 5 or 6 or something like that. And then later on in life, he contacts his ex-wife like, sorry, I'm actually alive. And then she goes to live with him for a bit. A fun fact about Elizabeth Short as well, she suffered severely with asthma and bronchitis, to the point where she couldn't be in like colder climates, and so moving to Los Angeles or California to be with her father in a warmer climate was actually beneficial to her for her health, because she'd get really ill if
I saw that. Her full name is Elizabeth Short of Breath.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Thanks.
And of time, but she didn't know that until it was too late. She in the film, when you get sort of like a expanded shot of her, you see that she's cut into multiple pieces, but she was only cut in half, and it was a surgical procedure. It was there was a specific technique that they determined it was used, called a hemicorporectomy, which is the lower half of her body had basically been like removed. I think it's a lumbar spine. I read this between the 2nd and 3rd lumbar vertebrae. There were other lacerations as well, but essentially she wasn't like packaged up like Dexter Morgan would his victims. It was just one clean cut through the middle. Yeah, but the Chelsea smile that she got, But what I found again is the inconsistency
here. But the film is sort of, and apologies, it's a bit gruesome, but the film is impressively restrained with what it shows of that.
Yeah, you do see some boobage of the actress who's playing, but both boobages are present in the movie, but in real life, not so much. Yeah, the media at the time portrayed her as this like promiscuous woman. They did sensationalize who she was, when in reality she wasn't anything like that. She was just a woman who was probably looking to become an aspiring actress in Hollywood, and went down the avenues that many sane women did at the time, i.e. she did like waitressing and stuff like that. But she was never credited in any role, so she, you know, it doesn't look like she ever did anything in the industry, like got to a point where she actually got a role. But she dated men, courted, I'd probably say, would perhaps be the more appropriate word, as opposed to what some people might think of her as because of the media. But again, that was mostly probably just to, you know, have a bed, a warm meal, and company. But she wasn't as sexually promiscuous as some sources would have you. And I include this film as well. I include this film as one of those sources, if you will. So yeah, they do take some creative liberties, but they just go, "Oh, we're based it on the book. We just based it on the book. It's not us. It was the book. It was the book. We had no choice. We couldn't do anything about it." Like, oh mate, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's fair to call that out. And Distant Night has sent in $5 Aussie saying thank you. The Austrian painter line is straight out of the book. Well, I think we should show the Austrian painter line. Where is it? I do have it. Where is it? Sorry, I have a lot of screen caps. Can you imagine?
John, yeah, I imagine it was.
You know, we've really neglected Tilda Swinton in that.
Jerry's one.
Sorry,
I just realised they own the book.
Oh, well,
treat
yourself. So the Austrian painter line is straight out of the book. That scene is to establish the existence of the Georgie Tilden character. Yes, yeah, it needs to be in there. You need to get the surgicality. Again, and yeah, TCG, you did a really good job of summing the case up there. You really did. Thank you for that.
That's from memory. I was never going to make a video about this because it's one of those stories that have been done to death, but it was one that I spent a few weeks actually obsessing over for a little while, because I was like, it was one of those where you're like, you know, like you've heard it before, like you've heard of it, everybody knows it, and I was like, I've heard of this story, but I don't really know it. And so yeah, it was but the actual murder, the investigation, I mean, I think they had something like 150 odd suspects or something like that in real life, and you know, obviously no arrests. It's still unsolved to this day, and it will probably remain unsolved. They never the scene where the murder took place, which is revealed in this film, never happened. They've got again, there's theories, but that's all they are. Say there are some suspects, like you know like like Jack the Ripper, for example. You have like a list of suspects. This one is this story is no different. There are a list of suspects which are tied to the true story, but I don't think any of them are actually named or referenced in the film. So, or maybe loosely, I think, but
yeah, this film really does take the sort of unsolved nature as a sort of carte blanche for, and I will now funnel this into the theme I want to explore.
Yeah. As I said, there was a film that we covered a while back which used a real life story, a real life event. I can't remember, but I'd have to go back in the catalogue and have a look. But that was not the main themes. Like you'd get, oh no, hold on a minute. Was it Fear Street? No, was it Fear Street? That Andrew Garfield thing that we did a while back? I think it was that trilogy. The Sean Bean was in it. They had,
yeah.
Yes, that's it. It was the Yorkshire Ripper. It was the Yorkshire Ripper.
There you go.
Yes, and but I thought they did that really well, right? Because the events were going on during the time. In one of the stories, it was they were using the Yorkshire Ripper as the sort of foundation of the story. You know, this serial killer's going around murdering these prostitutes, and then eventually just non-prostitutes. Just, you know, expanded the scope of his victim base. But while all that's going on, that's sort of happening on the sidelines. You're not really getting that. What you're getting is these characters and their story while all this is going on. And every now and again, you'll get an event that takes place, but really all they're doing with the Yorkshire Ripper story is they're just essentially giving you the time in which that the events you're about to see with this other character is taking place, i.e., you know, you're now in 1978, you're now in 1980, you're now in 1982. Like they're using them as sort of like pins in a timeline. You're here, you're here, you're here. I felt like this film could have done something like that, but it seems to it's trying to put both the Dahlia story and the story that it's trying to tell, and it's almost like they're competing for that main spot, and it just feels a little bit messy and a bit clunky, and I think that's what harms the ending, because it's kind of like, right, we've got to put all this together now. Everything just falls into place.
Someone explain absolutely everything, yeah, and it really is sort of, the trailer's picked up in like the last 10 minutes. Leiku notices that the granny killer, so he's a granny killer and a diddler, whose name is Nash. It is Nash, just disappears in the middle of the movie. You find out he is killed after he attacks a Chinese family. I've got one image of it. Where is it? No. I found it quite upsetting, really. He's got a thing of, he goes in, he kills old people, and then he diddles, and you see this image, which I thought it made the case without being excessive, and you've got all the groundwork, but he's killed in the middle of it. So it's like, and that leads into a massive fight between Blanchard and Bucky. But I wouldn't say it disappears, but it is just sort of, I don't know. It drops out of sight for a good while until it's resolved. Just like Kay drops out of sight for like half an hour in the movie.
I love how self-aware it is as well of that moment when they're like, oh, we forgot about him.
Yeah.
Like they're literally like, oh shit, we forgot about this dude. Oh, but it's already resolved now.
And now we're gonna resolve. Yeah. I'll go back to our fun little dad here, just because it was brought up. And how can I say? I don't want to take too much time on this on YouTube, but I do feel. Oh God, you know.
Did he go too far? May a little bit.
I will say and I have meant to do a stream on this for a while, and frankly, everyone has been so generous that I shouldn't even bait a bonus stream. I should just do it because you guys have been wonderful. But there is a sort of, I have a fascination with the kind of anachronistic projection that films do, and there's like, this is a kind of thing that typical screenwriters tend to do, where they try and mark someone out with an opinion that would be outrageous today, that at the time is not that outrageous. And that might sound really weird, but if you actually understand stuff that, like a classic example is they'll give you the villain character by making them a racist. Oh my God, they're a racist in the 1940s? Oh my word. And it's like, you don't realize that modern attitudes are very, very different. And even the idea of what you are calling racist doesn't really track onto the opinion of the time. And that is a very big topic that we're not going to delve into deep. But I felt it was that kind of thing of like, it's a projection into the past with a modern marker on it. It's meant to be interpreted by a modern audience rather than faithful to the time. For instance, like I mean, slightly po-faced when I say, like, he gives this line, Hitler was a bit excessive, and then
did Hitler go a bit too far? I mean, I'd say so, but he has some good policies, man.
Vegetarian,
he's a vegetarian. He liked his dogs. He drank water.
But when you say, like, but mark my words, that someday we'll regret not joining forces with him to fight the Reds. I mean, not an isolated opinion. I mean, General Patton was pushing for it. There was quite a large amount of the British Parliament was not exactly keen to, line up with Stalin and hand Poland over. And
Churchill, for one. Churchill wanted to march on Poland.
Well, Churchill, yes, absolutely wanted to continue the fight. That he, you know what? Let's not get into historical details now.
We shall fight them on the beaches. We shall fight them on the trenches.
Yes.
I'm going to have a nap now. My brandy is warm.
Dr. Prepper, indeed, yes. In fact, you might have some fun and interesting times looking up opinion polls at the time about favor of intervention at the time. The percentages might not be what you expect. But anyway.
Yeah, until Pearl Harbor happened, and then
I just want to mention, because Leiku and Dr. Prepper have been talking about how
intervention.
They're talking about how the scene in which Elizabeth's body's found. Okay, I am actually going to say, oh yeah, sorry. Well, I told you, Jerry, I'm going to bed now. I'm getting my whiskey and my brandy mixed up. I can't tell. Yeah. Anyway, back to being me.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite good. Because the scene starts off, a woman screaming, finding the body, but you don't know it at that point. You just hear this woman scream for help whilst something, and again, this is something completely different that's going on. Something completely unrelated. We're following the storyline of these two former boxers, now partners, about to take down this guy. It all goes Pete Tong.
Yeah,
and it just so happens that this whole this whole body's been discovered at the same time, and it completely distracts from what they were doing originally, which then kind of leads into that scene you see where they're like, "Oh yeah, we forgot about this dude."
Yeah.
So,
man. But, should have been the Red Riding approach.
I just thought it was quite clever, because although if memory serves, it's not just a woman who finds her. I think it's a woman walking with her young daughter. Ooh. And the young daughter sees the body, I think, and then so there's actually and I think they run to like to a home or something like that around the area. But minor quibble, but I quite like that overhead shot. You don't really see the body in the ditch either. You see
really
the woman running, calling for help. And it's
the clearest you see is right at the end of the movie in a quite nice flashback. I didn't go with that screen cap, but I did go with the sort of ending look to show like he's still haunted. He's still haunted by it. So
yeah.
Yes, Emmett, we fought the wrong enemy, Lynn Scott. Yeah, maybe he's a pattern noticer. Huh? Oh, that's fine.
Well, a lot of the Scots were pro-fascist.
Yeah, but they'd always the Scots will always do the opposite of what the English want.
Yeah, well,
even if it's their own
what
detriment.
the English wanted at the time is, well, let's not get into historical details or opinion polls at the time. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, but no, I think but the reason why I like it, Laker, is because it's one of those things where I think I like the fact that it's showing that there are other things happening in that scene, which are, there's just other things happening. The whole point of them being in that area is because something else that is connected to them and their job is happening at that time. Yeah, it feels coincidental, but that it's like you're going to get called to a job. What were they doing at the time when the body was found? That's kind of what I like. Yeah. They're doing their job. It's all completely unrelated. And then, oh, hang on a minute. Now this has happened. We're going to get pulled into that. Oh, we've let the ball drop. Now more people have suffered. But I do like the build up. I just like the overall build up, because I was expecting at some point, excuse me, that I was waiting for the woman just to run through. Help! Oh my god! And obviously it doesn't doesn't quite happen like that, but I would have loved that. Just before they're about to go and like take these guys down, this woman's just banging on the police. Going, there's a dead body. There's a dead body. There's a dead body. There's a dead girl. I thought that would have been quite cool.
It was a very cool scene. It was a very nice scene. And again, it built up that thing of just like establishing it, not exploitative. I like that. Even in the sort of autopsy. By the way, a lovely bit of Ian McNeice. One of those smaller actors, but it's always nice to see him. I think he played Baron Harkonnen once.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nice to see him. Even then, they kind of cover him with people. I like that. I like that very much. But I'm sort of conscious of the time. So...
well, hang on. This film's 2 hours and a minute long, so
we're good. Shall we talk about terrible photoshopping then?
Okay.
It's one of those weird things. Look, I'm going to give this movie kudos. It needs a photo of people from the past that you tie together. But I will throw out. So they've used real younger photos. So this is how it would look. It may be horribly photoshopped, but kudos. They didn't do like that Star Trek episode did, like Star Trek Nemesis, which had like young Picard and made him bald because he's Picard, so he's going to be bald even when he's a teenager, and we've seen him as a teenager with hair. But don't worry about it. But I did find that I couldn't recognize William Finley from this photo. I only recognized Fiona Shaw. Like everyone else, like, who are they? Really threw me off.
Hang on.
This is meant to be. So this is William Finley on the right here. And even though we have seen him in Sisters, I'm so terrible. In Sisters, in Body Double, in the other one that we only did just a couple, The Fury, and of course TCG in Death Trap or Eaten Alive, which we loved so much. It's quite hard to connect that person in that photo to this guy who we see on screen. That's a tough tell. I couldn't tell they were the same person.
Sometimes you distract me with the things you say, and this is something that's happened again. You mentioned young Picard, so I go and do a little dig.
Yeah.
Are you talking about? I cannot believe I forgot.
What, young
Tom
Hardy?
Tom Hardy. What?
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, good old Star Trek.
He's like old enough now to be Picard from the start of his run in TNG as well. I think, like, the man literally could be technically could be Picard in a reboot now if they ever rebooted it.
Oh God, no modern reboot of TNG, please.
No, can't be doing it. No,
not a modern day.
All of Star Trek has to go in a freezer. It's until this madness is past, I'm afraid.
That is hilarious. I completely forgot Tom Hardy was
young
Picard.
He wasn't
so weird.
There's a treat.
He legit looks like such a boy, doesn't he? Like,
he does. Oh, it's been a long time. I can't say I'm desperate to go back to Star Trek Nemesis. I feel I do owe us a discussion of one of the absolute stars of the film, Hilary Swank. Oh, and also we got some fabulous butches in the shot that I hadn't appreciated. See, this is what a lesbian bar is actually like. I'm just telling you, chaps. We have butchers present.
I don't believe
this is good casting. But anyway, there is a. You know what? If These Walls Could Talk Too had a good lesbian bar scene, that was a believable one. There we go. What did you, Murgoot? What did you think of Hilary Swank in this? Did she work for you?
Yeah, she was a good. Another one who looked the part of the Black Dahlia. She was a good red herring and definitely would. But She was effective in her short role.
She's memorable. I love the little detail, like she wants a date with Bucky, and then she only asks him his name at the end.
Yeah.
And it makes it like she's moving so quick with him, and then you see her, she's taking a random sailor into the same room. Like she is
That's one hell of a fat sailor for being so young in the Navy at that time.
Oh, she's gonna work him. She's gonna get him ship shape, all right.
Oh yeah, I have to add, I have to mention as well that scene when he goes to pick her up and she's like, "Oh, you didn't tell me you're a boxer. Dad really wants to come and meet you now," and he sits down and has dinner with the family. And the younger sister of Hilary Swank's character is in Supernatural, I do believe. She is the second iteration of Meg.
I just found that really confusing.
I cannot do. It's impossible to do a double feature horror show without mentioning Scream or Supernatural at least once.
We're going to mention one of them in each. It's you can't avoid it. Yeah, maybe I can see it actually.
It is, yeah.
I do struggle. I do struggle.
Well, there were two Megs in the show. There was the original Meg, who was in season 1, I believe. I'm trying to think if she was in the second season or not.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, she's actually passed away since.
What?
Yeah, she's actually she passed away. Yeah, the woman, the blonde, short hair. I forget her name. What was her name? But yeah, I think she had a brain tumor.
Gosh darn.
Yeah.
Which one was married to Jared Padalecki?
That was Ruby.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
that was
season 4, right?
Season 4, Ruby. Yeah, second iteration. Not
first. Is that the one where he just like
Nikki
walks
Acox
around like it's Thor for like 6 minutes with no top on? Like, I haven't had any water for 6 days. We're filming this. We're getting 6 minutes of footage.
Yeah, but the second Meg Masters
stuck in my head.
Let's have a look. It's Rachel Miner. I'm sure it's her. Go on, prove. Let me say I'm right. Yes, I'm right. Yeah, I'm right. I'm right.
Good.
I am right.
And they're still married. Good on them.
Oh yeah, they're going strong. They it's quite funny actually because there was an episode of Supernatural where they literally go into a reality where it's our reality, and the actors on a TV show called Supernatural it goes to his they go to Jared Padalecki's mansion. And they're like, "Hey!" And then all of a sudden, like Ruby, Jared's wife turns up, and they're like, "Oh, it's Ruby."
Is that a season 6 one?
Season 6, yeah.
Later. Oh gosh.
Season 6.
Good times. I'm just gonna leave this image up for reasons.
Yeah, I found it funny. He was wearing his hat.
More hat on in bed.
Just to remind you that this is a noir film. This is supposed to be a noir film. We have to be wearing our noir hat. We do not take off the noir hat because otherwise the audience will forget.
Remember, a hat on top and a hat down below. Everyone's safer. Now you're in the know.
The hat, no, only the hat down below is optional. Yes. As Maverick rightly says, the hat stays on during Sweetheart.
Yes, in a melody strip for John Boris, cigarettes are more addictive than sex. Cigarettes are more addictive than almost anything.
Wow. Wow.
I'm now thinking of a cigar. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while. I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't have a supply. We're good. Well, yeah, I appreciate it. As you say, actually, TCG, I don't think I got your thoughts on Hilary Swank's character in this. Like, it's
she was all right.
A bold role, I thought.
Yeah, she was all right. Just a very big emphasis on the fact that she supposedly looked like the Dahlia. And what?
I don't think it did seem to happen quite quickly. But,
yeah. Her being killed.
Done without the this is another one of the things where it's like the final revelation about the Dame. Like, this is a bit of a noir classic. Brick did this too. You've got to have the final revelation about the female confidant, and it's like, but for me, this was just like a bit too much too late, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we'd had so much exposition in the house, and then finding out she was in on it too. I was like, at that point, I was expositioned out.
Yeah. And it's funny when she's like, you're too scared to fudge me. And I'm just thinking to myself, he's really done it, mate. He's completely
this was far too Freudian a shot.
I mean, I get it. I get it because it's trying to capture that noir attitude and that noir. And I can kind of forgive stuff like that because, excuse me, if you go back to a film in the 40s or 50s, right? Kind of like a detective noir story. It's like that. Let's be honest. They'll just be like, I'm going to put a gun up right up to you where you can easily disarm me. But they're like, oh my God, right, okay. And, you know, I can forgive it, but it is just funny that he just like kills her. Like, okay, brilliant.
Straight up. Yeah, it has to happen. It's in line with the trope, but I do feel by that point in the film, it's like, oh, a bit too much.
I just didn't buy him actually doing that. Like, it didn't seem in line with his character. I mean, yeah, he'd lost his best mate. You know, the case obviously was slipping away, but well, actually, I say slipping away. He was solving it, but obviously he couldn't do anything about it because it was too. There was like too many
high
risky
profile
elements
people
and high profile attached to it. So it was one of those things where, you know, it's gonna get Epsteined. If he ever tries, he'll get Epstein if it ever tries to come out. So
is it shut down? Like, does it end with this? I don't know. But Jerry's, you asked. I presume this informed LA Confidential. It precedes it. It precedes it. I believe in James McEllroy's LA Quartet. LA Confidential is part of that. The film LA Confidential was made first and was a massive critical and commercial hit. Which is why they wanted to adapt the others. Right? I haven't actually looked into the others, but I didn't say this earlier. We did talk about the attempts to adapt it, but originally the plan was that they'd have a few cameos from some of the surviving stars of LA Confidential. So Guy Pearce and Russell Crowe were meant to have cameos in this.
Okay.
But then they took 12 years to make this, well, about 10 years to make the blooming film. So it sort of moved on, and they decided not to do it. So yeah, but
we did get this before GTA 4.
True.
and just to clarify, just to correct myself, Nikki Aycox, I think she'd been living with leukemia.
Oh right.
So I think it was that. Yeah.
Distant Night has had a bit of trouble getting past YouTube's filters. You just got to slap the Britisher on it, mate. You slap the Britisher on and you're absolutely fine. You get away with anything. PooTube would not let me super this. Let's have a look. One line tragically missing from the book is when Madeline asked Bucky when he started liking her. When you took your clothes off. That is a shame. That is a shame. But she's magnetic from the start, though. I really liked her. I think it's Hilary Swank. I think sells this extremely well. Yes, wonderful. Thanks again. You've been very generous tonight, and I really appreciate it.
You've been Britished.
That sneaky Britisher, the best kind. Yeah. Well, folks, I am mindful of the time and the potential call of Super Nanny. So, unless there is anything else you'd particularly like to get into, shall we move into our closing thoughts and scores on the Black Dahlia?
Maverick, I've changed it now. I am so sorry. I did not notice. This is going to be a really weird one for me, right? Because I normally say if it's below 6, maybe it's not a recommendation. But I do feel like this film could probably benefit from a second watch, because there's so many things, there's so many threads being pulled on in this film that it's very hard. I found it tricky to sort of keep up with what was going on. So I do feel like, and actually John mentioned it early on. I think it was John who mentioned it on early in the stream. He actually had a better second watch than he did a first one. I feel like that's probably what would benefit this film, probably a second watch, because then you can focus on maybe even a third watch. Like if you just want to focus on certain elements of the story, then that's what you should perhaps do, maybe, if you're like me with a short attention span. But I mean, from a cinematic point of view, I think it's beautifully shot. They did that thing where you have a close up and a far back picture, but it's all in frame. It's all in focus. Sorry, love that. Love that, to illustrate character at the front listening to conversation going on in the back.
Oh God, the number of dual focus scenes. Here's one for you. They're all even had a horizontal dual focus where you could see the newspaper headline and the one.
Yes, I wasn't too sure about that one. I'll admit I was a bit iffy about that one. That looked a little bit like the paper had been sort of like just in a like abruptly cut from the top. I was a bit iffy about that one.
Going absolutely crazy with dual focus in this film.
But this, and there's another one with Josh Hartnett's character in the police station. He's trying to listen into Aaron Eckhart, I believe it is, talking to the boss. But I think for a noir story, I think from a view, from just purely from an aesthetic point of view, I think it looks great. I mean, the cast is just brilliant. Like, a few surprises along the way. I think probably if you're like me, you need to maybe give it a second watch, just to sort of like tie off any loose ends that you might not have caught throughout the film, because I did find myself struggling to keep up with it. It was a bit all over the place, if I'm completely honest. And I think just I know they blame it on, it's just the book, we know we're following the book, but man, I've just, purely because of the fact that I do true crime, there's kind of like it's almost like a code I have when it comes to covering stories, and I just feel like, taking creative liberties with shit that's happened in real life, I don't know. I don't know if it sits well with me. I think they did just about enough to. I'm not even going to say that. No, actually, they were nowhere near enough. I mean, making her out to be like doing like Lezo corn scenes, I just think no, that's too far, man. That's too much. The Ed Gein Monsters series butchered the actual true life story for me. Like, they could have said we took inspiration from the Black Dahlia, but they didn't. They could have renamed Elizabeth Short to somebody else, and then they could have done. Then they could have gone ham. I mean, in terms of burgers, it's a 5. I think 5. It's not. I don't think it's terrible. But I think what you said about the cuts that they made to the film probably hindered it a lot. I would have liked to have seen the breakdown of Eckhart's character during the investigation happen more gradually than it just sort of happened. Like it was so sudden, and it's explained by, he had a sister who died at the age of 15. Oh, okay, right. So I'm not entirely convinced, and also the fact that someone he framed is getting released from prison. Okay, it's just explained. It's not really. I think it could have done with a little bit more time just to sort of like flesh those bits out. But some suspect meat in the burgers, served by someone with a Chelsea smile, I guess.
Nice, yeah. I agree with a lot of that, and I think it would be interesting what you said about on the rewatch, because I saw this when it first came out in Germany in German, and it's been a while, but I liked it a lot more this time. I think this is something, it's so overstuffed that on the rewatch you're not just sort of fighting to keep track of what's going on. You can enjoy it a bit more. So I think the 5 is fine, but I could imagine that going up a burger or 2 on the rewatch. How about yourself, Murgoot? Where do you land on this one?
I give it 7.5 burgers, some ketchup, a Glasgow smile. some pickles, some inverted pickles.
Invert. Very nice.
It's the world building is fabulous. I only caught a couple of things. The Betty Page shot from Irving Klaw's studio, that was a 1950 or 1951 shot. The Bunny Yeager photograph, that was mid-50s. Those are, but the Zoot Suit riots, they tried to get everything period. The attitudes were right. The land developers, the Hollywood studios, the Jewish mob, they were all intertwined. They displayed that as correctly as you can without, like I said, the world building is fabulous.
In America.
The script is jumbled.
Yes.
The second act was slow. I can understand why people walked out in the middle of it, because the second act was... The third act saved it just because it ramped up the action so hard, and once you paid attention, they started tying up loose ends very quickly, but it made sense if you watched it slowly. It's... the lesbian club was about right. It would have been a lesbian night, not a whole bar, but it was about right. It was fabulously casted. I'm surprised you didn't say anything about Josh Hartnett's nude scene proper.
Really? I've been very restrained. He did get his ass out in Penny Dreadful as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I give it about 7.5. It's rewatchable, definitely. I just have to make sure that I don't fall asleep halfway through the second act.
Very fair, very fair. And yes, I was looking for the image where he stands up and he's got his lovely little bottom out, but I don't have that. I've only got the Hilary Swank's lovely bottom, and no one really is interested in seeing that, I'm sure. But if you want to see it,
have you got some British?
I'll get away with that. It's fine. Get away with that. It's fine. Weirdly, I don't know. Distant Night did not get me Josh Hartnett's bottom. I'm shocked. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so we got a 5 and a 7. I can go with that. I think personally, I lean more towards a 7. But I'm going to acknowledge this is messy, and De Palma does get messy. But I don't think this deserved to be the flop that it was. You know, it cost about 50 million to make, and it took 49 million. So when you throw in marketing, it lost money. It will have probably clawed that back by now, but this did not deserve to be the flop. I think it's just a victim of being so delayed that all the hype was gone, and really just the format probably is shoving it together too much. And the weird thing is, probably the only reason we don't have the full cut, that 3-hour original, is because, you know, it bombed, it flopped. And maybe just like a few years later, when the DVD market or Blu-ray market was going a bit more, and they realized, oh, you know what, we can sell a director's edition, something like that, something like Scream Factory. If they were to pick this up and do the work and find the work cut, oh my goodness, there'd be something wonderful there. It's just sort of a tragedy where it comes out, unfortunately. I feel this is something that was hard done by, because there's so much good in it, as you say. But maybe a 2-hour film is not the way to tell this story. And so it does end up as a bit convoluted, even though it's got so much glory in it. For that reason, it's fascinating. It's very watchable, but you need that second watch to really enjoy it, I think, and probably even a third, because there's a lot of names flying by. Even so, some threads do just basically drop and some characters just drop out. Like, I think Patrick Fischler screams at Blanchard about apologizing and then is never seen in the movie again. I may be wrong.
Yeah. No, but it's there's large gaps between scenes where he is just absent. He just does that. Yeah, the scenes that stick out for me was when they were talking about that proposal for like pay rise, and he's there, like, you know, because it's gone through. That scene that you referenced, and then that, I think the last one I remember him in was that when he did that really like uncomfortable close up, and I think that was like the last time I remember seeing him in the film. It just very forgettable.
And it's a shame because there's great stuff in here. Like, it just needs room to breathe, because there's so much here which would be good. Like, I didn't mention this because we're going past it, but Bucky's dad is a really interesting theme.
Yeah,
but just like setting up the sub theme of basically in America, it's all about your past dies. Like, you basically get subsumed into it and you become something new. Like, Bucky's German, and he has to he's brought his German dad over, and the dad is basically can't adapt to the American way and just gets shoved into a care home. And it's quite a metaphor for how everyone gets chewed up and
also kind of a bit of a metaphor for how maybe people were forgotten about once they were put into the system. We can forget about him now. He's not a problem.
Yeah. And
which is a shame.
Also the silent stars, you know, how they just get forgotten about and shoved to the side. You know, there's really deep stuff in here, but there is no room to breathe because they had to get it out in under 2 hours. So, and
I'm sorry, but a film that takes place in the 40s with mob bosses and corruption and the sort, you don't think that maybe having the dad around a little bit longer in the film to present some sort of danger or risk to Josh Hartnett's character, or as a threat to be a device used, like a device to be used as some sort of threat later on, like, you know, we know where your dad's staying, we've got people on the inside, if we want to make it happen, you know, daddy can your dad can go and spend some time with Hitler on the other side. You know,
there's plenty you could have done, but not in a 1 hour 50 minute. So, man, I think the best version of this would have been that Fincher 4 or 5 parter miniseries and really let it breathe. But alas. So what do we actually score this one? I think a 7 is about right. I enjoy it greatly on the rewatch, but it is very, very messy. It is far from De Palma's best, but it is ambitious. So
was this your first time?
Murgoot? No, second. Oh, sorry, asking Murgoot. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This was your first time.
If it was your first time watching this.
I watched it when it first came out, and it kind of bored me at the time.
Oh yeah, another thing as well. I don't like how they did my boy, the man who laughs dirty, trying to use that film as some sort of device.
Oh yeah. I mean, they brought it in. It was a nice touch.
Yeah. I'm wondering, because the only reason why I ask is because I wonder if I gave it a second watch, maybe would I score it higher? Because that seems to be a bit of a trend. You scored it higher, but you've watched it multiple times. Murgoot, the same. John said he had a better second watch. So I feel like this is a film that you need to watch again to just digest any sort of
a really dense film.
Yeah,
I think does better on the second. The first, you're just sort of finding your feet, and then the second, you can breathe and you can notice stuff. So I think you would. I'd recommend you give it a go. However, not next week, because next week we're covering something very different. Horror homework time. If you were around at the start of the stream, you'll know what's coming, but we were blessed with a very generous super chat, a member request, frankly, at that level, it is a member command. We will be kicking off September with Backrooms.
Oh yes,
Very
shout out to Big Cover Man. Well done, man.
I'm gonna have to give it a couple of watches so I can get all the details.
I'm really upset that I'm going to miss it,
but don't worry, you can make up for it by sending people to prison. So
well, depending on which trial I get in,
just blag it, mate.
True crime story.
Just blag it.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. All right, so we'll look forward to that. Brilliant stuff. Well, folks, you have had your review of the Black Dahlia. We are kind of at the end of De Palma season, but I'm going to see if I can sneak Waifu on for a bonus stream covering Raising Cain, because then we've basically done all of De Palma's decades. We've done a 70s film with Sisters and The Fury. We've done an 80s with Body Double. If we get 90s Raising Cain, we've done one per decade. So there we go.
Oh, Raising Cain's a mess, but John Lithgow is glorious.
Oh, I imagine he'll be fun. He'll be a great film with that. So I will see if I can sneak that in. Will it be this month? I don't know. Expect a bonus stream with that fairly soon. I will also say that members did vote largely for fairy tale inspired horror. So after Backrooms, we will start kicking off that season.
Was that instead of Backrooms?
No, after Backrooms.
Right.
Okay. Backrooms is coming first. With a donation like that, it's jumping.
No. But what I mean was when you were doing your democratic vote, was Backrooms part of that list, and was it being outvoted?
No, it was what did we have? It was censored movies, it was fairy tale inspired ones, 1970s Japanese stuff, and well, basically J horror before J horror.
Okay.
And I can't remember what the third one was.
Okay.
No, I can't remember the third one, but anyway, fairy tales have won it quite comfortably.
I was just hoping that it was, and it was losing, just so that we can say we smashed democracy.
Well, I figured, we'll have 3 on the theme and then a bonus request, and we got our bonus request. Whoop. And we've also had a super chat from our boy Just a Night, sending $5,000 saying, "I'm expecting a full mug shorties when you get back, Murgoot." We need to know. We need the mug shorties review.
Yeah, Murgoot, sneak your smartphone into the court.
Ooh. And Jerry's, that sounds like a fun night. 4K Blu-ray of Point Break. My goodness, how wonderful. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to make sure we get out here before Super Nanny arrives bringing her wrath. If anyone doesn't know the law, basically, if we go over 2.5 hours, we'll all be on the naughty step. But you've had your review of the Black Dahlia. You have had your horror homework for next week, which is Backrooms. And you've been incredibly generous, for which I'm very grateful.
British just replied. Okay, that's weird. Dare I even ask? There you go.
Should we send him some of the others?
There you go. There's the link.
Oh dear.
I'm even going to post it on here. Let him know. Show the man some love. Show the man some love. Show the man.
Oh dear.
Oh.
That poor man. 10 p.m. at night, and suddenly he's seeing E-Girl
the E-Girl version of him. I was so hoping that he was going to respond before we clocked off tonight. Right in the nick of time.
Brilliant. All right, folks, it has indeed been a brilliant stream. It's been a heck of a lot of fun, and I hope you've got more fun tomorrow. ECG Murgoot, you're absolute stars. Thank you so much. And everyone else, yeah, you've been great. You've been hilarious. You've been very, very generous, which is super appreciated. I am glad you came in for KD Lang, and you got a whole bunch of bonus info. So good stream for you as well. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a hoot, guys. All right, folks, I hope you got a lovely Friday tomorrow and a great weekend after that, and enjoy your homework. I will see you later. Cheers.
Horrorbots, transform and roll out.